Hi, everybody. Well, as a forecaster, it's go time. It's late afternoon on this Wednesday, and I begin with the fresh set of warnings from the National Weather Service pertaining to this Thursday night, Friday morning storm. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill coming to you from Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. So on the left, this is the brand new warning map from the Weather Service. See the brightest color right here? Includes Portland, Vancouver, Hillsborough. This is now a winter storm warning. All of these warnings basically start early in the morning, Thursday, go through the night into Friday morning. That's when the precipitation is going to be moving through the area. Now, if you go into the darker tone down here, which includes Oregon City, down into Salem, Albany, Eugene, National Weather Service is going with a ice storm warning. Obviously, the difference is this is the Weather Service saying we think freezing rain is going to be a bigger deal than any snow in the Central to South Valley. More on that in a moment. And if you look at the light purple colors, these are all winter weather advisories for basically lighter precip amounts and mostly a snow threat. Okay, lots to talk about. The warnings have really come out big from the National Weather Service, right? Okay, something. Here are the headlines. These are the headlines that I am seeing as a forecaster. Some of them kind of match what the Weather Service warnings are saying, and some of them don't. Okay, I do believe this moisture arrives early in the morning. Weather models have been showing a wave of snow into Eugene, for example, as early as 5 o'clock or even 4 o'clock in the morning, and then that's going to be moving up to the north. So there's still a solid precipitation band, which looks to be mostly snow, coming up across the Willamette Valley into Portland and Vancouver tomorrow morning. Snow arriving from south to north, possible accumulations just in the AM hours from 2 to 3 hours of solid snow, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. It really looks like everybody in the Willamette Valley and up into Clark County should get some snow on the ground. Anything from a solid dusting to 2 to 3 inches. It really looks like that should be the case. So we'll see. This is snow in Portland, especially in the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hours in the morning. All right. We go into the afternoon and it's more of a showery mix, not a solid precip band on showery mix. And the afternoon on Thursday still looks like it potentially warms above 32. So that opens the door for a wet mix of showers to a snow shower to all kinds of stuff. Thursday night, temperatures are going to be right around freezing, a showery mix. And this is still where the threat of freezing rain really starts to escalate. This is Thursday evening, Thursday night. Could be a mix of all types of precipitation, but freezing rain becoming a big concern with showery precipitation. It does appear that the Thursday night will be more scattered. So freezing rain, there may be freezing rain pockets where it's bad, but not everywhere. Friday morning, you wake up, could still be a mix of freezing rain or snow in the area with temperatures around freezing. Freezing rain amounts anywhere from maybe where you are, you don't get much, just a little glaze, if that, to other areas, 2/10 of an inch. And some of the modeling coming in now is saying there could actually be a quarter of an inch of ice accumulation, especially south of Portland. So if that's the case, a quarter of an inch of ice is enough to bring down tree limbs and power lines and all kinds of a mess. Heavier icing, potentially in the coast range. I'm talking about maybe a half of an inch of ice in the coast range. This is definitely a more gloomy ice forecast than what I talked to you about 24 hours ago. Friday afternoon, we start to warm up, the storm starts to dry out, and then it all goes away. So that all still looks to be true. Here is the update on this NBM text model temperature forecast. So here's what it's saying for Portland: 27 degrees for a low tonight. This is saying it's 29 to 30 degrees first thing in the morning as moisture starts to arrive. And then this is showing in the afternoon, we warm up to 33, 35 degrees. That would be a big deal, right? That would change precipitation into possibly some melting snowflakes that would be wet. And then look what it does overnight. And I talked about this. This kind of holds Portland 34, 33 to just getting down to 32, back to 33. It shows a low of 30. This is into Friday morning. But again, it does, if you look at the hourlies, it shows the chance of holding near to above freezing. Remember, it's going to be cloudy. There's going to be some wind blowing. So I think that's a good call. And then here's the warm up Friday as the precipitation starts to go away, 42 degrees. If you look at precip types, we're all dry in the Rose City through the 4 or 5 o'clock hour, 1% chance of moisture. But by the time we get to 10 a.m., now the moisture's here, 75, 77% chance. Overnight, 50% chance or better. That's active showers into the morning hours. And then in the afternoon, the chances go down to 25% as we dry out and we go dry Saturday morning. Okay. Down here, this PZR line, this is a possibility of freezing rain. The PSN line is a possibility of snow. PPL is a possibility of like sleet or ice pellets. And then the PR is a possibility of rain. So this is interesting. See what the modeling does. So as the moisture starts to arrive, this likes it being all snow. By 10 o'clock, there's an 81% chance of moisture. So that's likely moisture. And it's basically saying whatever's falling at that hour will be snow. Again, that's the heightened call that it makes sense that all of us are going to end up with at least a dusting and maybe 2, 3 inches of snow on the ground tomorrow morning, eventually through the noon hour. And then as we go into the afternoon, notice how the snow chances disappear 5%. The chances actually most greatly favor rain or freezing rain. But if the temperature is 34, 35, that's just rain, right? And then we go overnight. Freezing rain chances get to 30, 31% chance. That's the best chance of freezing rain overnight. It also shows there could be some rain. Remember, temperatures are going to be close to freezing. So the big story here is if we're going to have widespread freezing rain, the best chance of that will be overnight, Thursday night. And that's only going to happen, of course, in spots where it's freezing. And that may not be everywhere. And then as we go into the day, Friday, precipitation chances fade away, and eventually anything that would fall would be rain with a temperature of 42. So this has been a pretty consistent story, and I think it's a good story. So I hope that all made sense to you. Hold on, let me back up. I want to show you one more thing. Pardon me. I should be able to back. Oh gosh, I hate it when I do this. Let me close this out. I'm not going to be able to back up. Okay. All right. I'm not the best at this. Momentous Wealth Podcast, listen on Apple Podcasts, listen on Spotify. This is a podcast with investment topics meant to educate you. They sponsor my YouTube channel. Hope you will give them your glance if you're interested in investment topics. Okay. What I wanted to look at was the wind. I just wanted to point out that the winds are going to be from the east this entire time. I've got the valley winds generally tomorrow, 12 to 20. Could be some higher gust. I've got gusts in the gorge, certainly over 30 miles per hour into the west end, maybe a size 40. Okay. I showed you that warning map from the National Weather Service in Portland. Here's Medford, and I just want to show you what the map looks like. There's going to be warming in southwestern Oregon, which I've been talking about. That's why there's no warning in places like Roseburg. That's mostly going to be above freezing and rain. But there could be some ice along the coast here early in the morning before temperatures warm up. There's Port Orford, Bandon, North Bend. Later in the day, though, temperatures warm up and it would just be rain. And then you've got some snow and maybe a mix of some icing in the upper elevations of the Cascades down in southern Oregon. What about the Seattle office? All right. Looks like a winter weather advisory from Olympia and then not in the Seattle area, but some of the elevated areas of Tacoma and Seattle. So I think, let me click on this and see what it says. Let's see here. Winter weather advisory, 8 a.m. Thursday, 8 a.m. Friday. Snow expected up to a couple inches. This is up in elevation, not including the city of Seattle. And that's what we're looking at. Elevation is 1 to 2 inches. So again, Seattle not getting as hit as bad of this storm as we will here in Oregon. Here's KGW's futurecast model. And let me see if I can figure out how to play this. Let me drag it backwards. Hold on. All right, play. Let me see here. I hate it when things get stuck. Okay, now I can. Good grief. I ran into this issue yesterday and I don't know. Okay, now it's playing. Okay. Here's the wave of moisture, snow and blue in Eugene at 5 o'clock in the morning. You should see this move up to the north. Here's mid-morning, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That blue is all snow moving up through Portland. And by 11 o'clock in the morning or noon at the latest, the main snow threat of the entire storm is now up to our north. The afternoon, it's scattered precipitation, depending on temperatures. Could be rain, could be snow, could be freezing rain. And then this is 10 o'clock in the evening, and right in here where you see the pinkish tones or salmon colors, that's freezing rain. This is 3 a.m., a mix of rain to above freezing temperatures, of freezing rain to snow. Then we get into Friday morning. There's snow up in Longview, but warming up through Salem. This is all rain up through Tillamook and Newport. Later in the afternoon, this is now showing a lingering scattered rain shower threat before everything ends eventually later in the day on Friday. So again, this is posted on my KGW Rod Hill Facebook page if you want to take a look at that in a little slower motion. Okay, this is going to show you total precipitation. So it does show you the wave of moisture coming up from the southwest early in the morning Thursday. I just want to show you what the moisture amounts are. So through Thursday afternoon, this is showing total moisture. It doesn't tell you if it's rain, snow, or freezing rain, just total moisture. So we have less than 2/10 of an inch to deal with during the day Thursday, 15/100ths to 12/100ths to 16/100ths in the Portland area, and only about 10th up in Seattle. Heavier moisture amounts, though, Lincoln County and the coast, down in the southwestern coast, where you've got a half of an inch or more potentially. And then you've got a quarter, 37/107 inch of total moisture down south of Salem. That's a little bit more moisture than what the models have been showing. And if I play this, this is the cumulative total through the entire storm ending Friday afternoon. Now it jumps up to more than a quarter of an inch from Kelso to maybe 4/10 down in Salem. Here's 6/10 to 82/100ths in parts of central and southern Oregon down the I-5 corridor. Over an inch down in North Bend, Coos Bay. 33/100ths in Tillamook. About a quarter of an inch to 2/10 up in Seattle. This is significantly wetter than what the model output had been showing. Now, there are other models that still say a quarter of an inch or less, period. So take that with a grain of salt. It doesn't really match up everything else that I'm seeing on the outputs. Here's the European model, and this is how much snow falls total from Thursday morning through Friday afternoon. All right, this makes sense. You've got up in Seattle 1 to 2, 3 inches. You've got 3 inches in Portland, Kelso, Longview. You've got roughly 2 to 3 inches down through Salem and down toward Eugene. And then notice once you get down to Eugene or south of Lane County, far less snow because there's going to be warming down there. Remember, warming is going to take place after maybe an early wintry situation in the morning Thursday. After that, it kind of warms up. No significant snow along the coast. This is going 6, 7, 8 inches of snow in the Oregon Cascades, less up in the Washington Cascades. Okay, that's kind of what we've been saying. This supports, especially Thursday morning, 1, 2, 3 inches of snow up and down much of the I-5 corridor. All right, this next map is that was the European model. Here's the American GFS model for freezing rain. I like this model because here's what it shows. It doesn't really show any freezing rain in Portland. Here's Portland. Why is that? Because you have the east wind blowing dry air advection and cold air advection into Portland. So that east wind is going to keep the depth of the cold air like this. When you get south of the gorge, there's not as much east wind. This weather system is coming up from the south, so it's bringing some warming. It's going to take an initial cold air slot like that. It's going to make it more and more narrow, and that's why you start getting overrunning and you start getting a chance of freezing rain. Does that make sense? So I like this model. I think it makes sense. This does show, again, this is a lot more moisture than what I have been talking about. It shows a quarter to a half of an inch of icing from parts of Marion County down into the Eugene area, or at least northern part of Lane County. That is an ice storm. If that comes true, remember, this is the area that the Weather Service has now issued an ice storm for freezing rain. You get a quarter of an inch or more of freezing rain, ice accumulating on things, you've got problems. You've got very difficult travel, and you do have an ice storm. So that matches what the Weather Service is saying. With some icing over the coast range, and even some icing, this will be mainly Thursday morning along the coast. So we'll keep an eye on all that. Less icing up into Portland, more of just snow or a rain mix at times. Okay. What else am I going to share? This is the wind. I wish this showed you the direction. It doesn't, but I will tell you it's an east wind direction. This is Thursday morning. Where you see the green spots, those are potential 40-mile-per-hour gusts, including in the gorge, mainly offshore, some gusty winds through the Long Beach Peninsula. This is Thursday midday. Now, by the time I get into Friday morning, the low itself that's bringing all this dissolves and the wind goes away. So that's Friday morning, the wind for most of us going away. So a gusty east wind Thursday, winds go away by Friday morning. All right. Last animation I want to show you is the temperatures. This is Thursday morning. There's Seattle in the 20s, Kelso, Longview 30, Portland 28, 29, 30, 31. So we're freezing. That's that wave of snow coming through. It is above freezing down in Coos Bay, North Bend, and even 35 up in Newport. Let's play this through the day Thursday. We'll stop it at 4 p.m. This shows the potential, and I believe this. Remember, Thursday, it's going to be showery precipitation. The only spot of moisture that's just solid for 2 or 3 hours of steady precip is the snow band that we get tomorrow morning. So showery precipitation, meaning dry breaks Thursday afternoon, would allow many of us between Portland, Salem, and Vancouver down to Eugene to get above freezing. So I believe this 34, 37, 35, 38. Eugene, 40 degrees. Wow. 51 down around Florence and Coos Bay, North Bend area. Yeah, that'll take the bite out of the storm, won't it? It stays cold in the gorge. This is all snow in the gorge. Temperatures in the mid 20s. Let's see what happens overnight into Friday morning. This is really interesting. Here's Friday morning. Notice 32, 32 around Portland, Vancouver, 31, 32, Salem, 34. This is above freezing down in Roseburg, above freezing up into Eugene, 34, 38 degrees. Maybe Salem's 34. So if it's above freezing Friday morning, that's rain, right? That's no problem. Portland's going to be close. Portland could be also 34. So a lot of the storm, and I've been saying this from day one, is going to depend on the temperatures. It's going to depend on the temperatures. Okay. Let's go around the horn, shall we? Here's Medford. Thursday, 49. Nothing wrong with that. Freezing at night would mean the chance of some icing or some snow, but 45 Friday. Again, there's warming in southwestern Oregon. You folks are not going to get hit that hard. Look at Saturday, 36 to 47. So that's not bad, right? That's actually warmer you folks have been for a long time. Let's go ahead and go up into Eugene. 34 to 35, 33 to 41. That's not hit very hard. That South Willamette Valley is going to see warming come in pretty quickly. Okay. All right. Let's go. Oh my God. It's still 8 degrees in Burns. Did you hear this? It was 27 degrees below zero in Burns this morning. The record for the date in Burns was 4 below. For today's date, they got the 27 below. It's still 8 below zero. That's crazy cold. Let's check out Pendleton. Some of you watch these videos from Pendleton, I know. This is mostly 1 to 2 inches of snow out into the Columbia Basin. 21 to 24, 24 to 34, snow chances Thursday, Friday. Each day could see a couple inches of snow. Saturday, you start to dry out, and then you warm up as you get a rain chance, and then it's mostly a rain chance going into next week, okay? There's not enough moisture with this storm to produce significant snow in central or eastern Oregon. Your amounts are going to be fairly light. Here's Bend. A couple inches of snow, maybe 3. 20, 31 Thursday, 19, 40. You warm up Friday afternoon, and then you're definitely warming up after that, as you can see. All right. Here's our capital city here in Oregon, Salem. 32, 36, 34, 41. If Salem stays warm Thursday overnight and Friday morning, the ice storm will not pan out. The threat of heavy ice will end early enough that maybe you get some icing, but you don't go over 1/10 of an inch. That's a possibility, but it's going to depend on the temperatures. Then you warm up. Look at the 50s Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as we get back to more of a mild, rainy pattern. Okay, let's jump up to Seattle. 34, 38, 34, 41. This is Seattle's north of the gorge. They're not getting the east cold outflow from the Columbia River Gorge, so Seattle's warmer. Remember, Seattle itself not under even an advisory because you're looking at temperatures generally above freezing in the 40s. So that's mainly some rain or a wet mix, right? Here's North Bend, staying warm. Look at that. Just rain showers. How about that? Astoria is going to be a different case. Well, by Friday morning, chance of ice or snow Thursday morning along the coast. Otherwise, you folks at the beach are out of it. Friday, it's 36 to 48, even up in Astoria in the seaside area. Okay. All right. Here's my Portland 7-day forecast. 28 tonight, starts to cloud over after midnight. So there's plenty of time for us to get cold before the clouds come in. So you wake up tomorrow morning, I would expect it to be 30 degrees or below freezing. Snow in the morning, several hours, we accumulate. We warm up above freezing, which will improve road conditions with scattered precip. Thursday could be some scattered rain showers, 35. And then I've got 30 Friday morning, but which would set the stage for Friday morning to be the worst of it all with some freezing rain overnight and a Friday morning and icy roadways. But some areas could stay above freezing, especially Salem and maybe even Portland is 32, 33. If that's the case, it could be more wet than anything on the pavement Friday morning. But we're not going to know until we get to Friday a.m. The storm ends Friday afternoon. Temperatures warm up to 40. We're dry Friday overnight and Saturday morning. Rain develops Saturday afternoon. And then we're back to normal. Temperatures well above freezing at night. Daytime highs getting up to about 50. Okay. If you followed everything I said, I really feel pretty confident what I gave you is going to be a roadmap that's going to play out pretty well. But you never know. It's weather. We'll see. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. That helps me out. You'll be notified when I post, and I'll talk to you soon.